Life is not easy. I'm Sanne Sephora. I've got intuitivementor.dk. I'm a modern psychic and an intuitive mentor. I am an expert in spotting people's limiting belief. If I am going to say it correctly, I'm a bullshit detector and eliminator. I'm an expert in spotting people's bullshit and removing it so that they can live and be in their true potential, be who they really are. As usual, if you know me throughout many years, or if you just know me in general, you would know that I always look at my own bullshit. If I have an issue with a client, not an issue, but if I notice something within a client, I know it's about me. It's the 16th of June, 2016. What a rough month. So much shit is going on around us. We're being bombarded with energy from upstairs. Mars is retrograde until the 28th. Neptune is retrograde as well, and they're completely opposites, those two. Neptune is about offering ourselves to others. It's pleasing, it's the angelic behavior, the Jesus Christ and helping others. And Mars, I can't say it, sorry, is the... And it's that balance we need to find this year. 2016 is about, it's a 9. All the numbers put together is a 9. This year is about letting go. Yeah, I'm crying. It's about, I'm crying. But 16 is about letting go. It's about finishing what we have not finished previous. We also, this very moment, finishing and a circle. That's what we do here in 2016. We're finishing a circle that we started around 2007 and 2008. And we're really right now figuring out who are we. But before we can figure out who we are, we have to figure out and have a look at what we're not. Most of us are raised to be in a certain way, look in a certain way, do in a certain way, speak in a certain way. Oh my God, that is why so many people, so many of us, especially us sensitive souls and aware souls, have had so many pain physically and mentally and emotionally. Because this year, we're gonna be challenged on the false reality that we have all been living in for almost 40 years. And how old are you? Please say that to yourself. We have this false reality. Yeah, I'm sitting like that, crooked. Because there is the false reality. And as long as we live in that false reality, we're going to have so many challenges, fears, worries, allergies, injuries, cancers. Until we find out what is our true reality. If you know me, you know I always share all my shit and stories, and I'm not afraid of crying. And what is that, cheers, I'm a workaholic. For 10 years, I just had a 10 years anniversary at the 1st of June. For 10 years, my business has been more important than my own well-being. I have the last 10 years, since I got up from a wheelchair 11 years ago, worked and worked and worked on myself. I have grown and evolved. Everyone who knows me, especially online, and my friends know that I am not the same person that I was before moving to France 6 months ago. I have changed enormously. But what I still don't master completely is the balance between being the masculine, driving my business, and being in the feminine and just being me. And that is also what is going to hurt us all here in June. What we still need to fix and sort out in order to find the balance between the masculine and feminine. Because we are it's not always easy to say, as you can hear, I'm from Denmark, but we're supposed to find the balance between the feminine and masculine and live our life from a feminine perspective. This is a masculine. I'm driven, I'm goal-oriented, I do stuff, I paint stuff, I make posters, I have goals, I need to figure it out. That's masculine. And that's especially hard on us women, because we are back here on Mother Earth. We want to make a difference. We want to evolve. We want to survive. False reality. We want to struggle. False reality. We want to be strong. False reality. Because the truth is, both men and women, we're supposed to be in a feminine energy, because the masculine regime that we have all been living under the last couple of thousand years is what has created the wars, the religion, the dogmas, and the heavy society that we all live in. I hear so many spiritual people say, oh, I hate the government, I hate the politics, I hate this and that. Yeah, but there is a bastard within you and within me. There is a masculine, animalistic, I hope I said it correctly, an animal, a fierce energy in you and in me. And if we don't deal with it, we don't like the government, the politics, the alpha males, the shitheads and all the bastards around the world who are who they are because of the conditioning. No one were born bad. No one. Even my dad, who was... my dad was a schizophrenic. He was manic depressive. You would call him borderline today. He killed himself exactly 31 years ago. So that's why I have never ever looked at my dad's patterns. I know that he worked a lot. He gave me siblings that I've never met. He also gave me siblings that I know and haven't seen for a decade, because I had to say yes to myself and goodbye to my family in order to survive. But what I've never looked at is his overall behavior that my little girl remembered. So what I wrote down on my paper today, this one here, this there is the selfie stick. My mom was the victim, totally submissive. She was a victim to her dad, strong, tyrannic, I hope I said correctly, tyrant dad, a tyrant of a sister, completely masculine. So my mom became completely feminine in the angelic energy, completely, but a little bit lost when it came to herself and emotions, that beautiful angel. And I love her, I still do, even though I haven't seen her for many, many years. And then on the other side, I had my dad, an alpha male. But my dad grew up without a mom. So even though he physically abused us all me and my siblings, especially my siblings, because I became masculine like him in order to survive and not be beaten by him. Fuck, I lost it, as I always do, because I chit-chat. But my mom was completely angelic. My dad was completely a crystal warrior, an alpha male. My dad lost his mom at a very young age. So she didn't get to condition him to become an empathic, loving, caring man. So that's what created my dad, who was a physical, abusive man, giving me siblings I've never met. It's conditioning that makes us who we are. And I bet that Donald Trump didn't have enough love as a child. He probably had a too masculine dad. Or a too masculine mom. If he even had a dad. I don't know. I don't want to get into that energy. But what we don't like out there is what we don't like within us. I can, just like my dad, be arrogant, demeaning, harsh. I can. Everyone actually can. And if you don't do it out there, you do it to yourself. You might be arrogant when it comes to yourself. You might critique yourself. You might be bullying yourself. You might be demeanoring yourself. So some do it out there and some do it in here. We cannot point fingers at others and say, I don't like the government. No, but you probably grew up in an environment that were governmental. I can't say that word in multiple. You probably grew up in an environment that reminded of a strict area, an army, which I was in for 10 years. I was in the army for 10 years because that reminded me of the shitty childhood I had with all these limiting space to be who I am. So, now to the part where I'm going to cry. I wrote here, just to sum it up, false beliefs. My mom was about survival and running and thriving. No, surviving, sorry. My dad was about me. See me. I've also had that tendency. And I've also been weak when it came to myself, taking good care of myself. I've done it the last 11 years after rising from a wheelchair. Otherwise I wouldn't be pain-free and stuff today. But what it all came down to was that my dad felt worthless. Not in his taught behavior, where he was a strong man that conquered women and had a farm and a family and stuff, where nothing worked in our family home, but everything around him looked good and everyone liked him with his smile and stuff. He was a charming man. So my mom didn't feel anything worth either. She also felt worthless. They both did. So my mom turned it inwards and didn't deal with herself and her own needs and emotional needs and stuff. She never spoke up for herself. So it's also that struggle that I have had with myself. The masculine that I taught from my dad and the completely feminine weakness. Sorry, don't mean it in a bad way, that I was taught from my mom. So they had the same energy. And I could say I don't like my dad. But I do, because I understand him. And I understand where he came from. And I also have his strength. But I also have my mom's angelic, feminine personality. And that's good. I'm proud of that. I am still, perhaps I should be even more proud of the parents that I had. But what it came down to, I'm a medium, a psychic. I can see through your body. I have read an x-ray what your dad or mom told you that you have forgotten about. How your birth was, what you were going through as a child in your mom's, I can't say that word, womb. I can see it, I can pick it up. So I start channeling. Now I'm going to turn the camera a little. I started writing. My dad's farm worked, but it didn't make him or us as a family make a lot of money. And I asked intuitively why, and the answer was because my dad didn't take himself seriously enough, but he did take his business, his farm and his pigs and him being a slaughter. He slaughtered animals, and I don't blame that, nothing, it's just I don't like the word slaughter. Butcher, that's the word, butcher. My dad was a butcher, and he was good at that. Going out to people, serving them, and giving them food on their table, and he had this farm, and that was where he was thriving, is that the word? He felt good about himself. And then I wrote, again I'm going to repeat that, he didn't take himself seriously, but he took his occupation important. Because his lack of self-esteem and self-support and self-care, the lack of feminine energies and values, had that influence that he was more of a farmer, a butcher, a man good with women. So he found his worth in what he did and not in what he was. And that has been my big challenge the last 10 years. Letting go of my business and also allowing myself to pay myself the salary that I need to take a vacation without having a purpose that I'm going to write or do something or have clients. Oh my God, I'm so tired of all that struggle. And now I can stop struggling. because now I get it. I do what my dad taught me. My dad taught me, and I didn't know that until today, just before turning 40. My dad taught me to struggle, to be more, that my business is more important than me and my clients and my VIP members and all what I love doing. But I should love myself and what I do just as much as I love my business. One of my new great mentors, Gina DeVee, oh my God, I love you, Gina DeVee. She said, a mom doesn't love one children more than the other one. And I like that. If I see my business as a child, I have had, love my business more than I love myself. And that has to change. And now it can. I can change that pattern now because I know that it's not me being a struggling entrepreneur. I can change that pattern now because it's just taught. My dad taught me this. I did not know of it because I was 9 years old. Now I looked at it from a 39-year-old perspective and now I get the picture. Change your perspective on yourself and your parents, on your past. Forgive everything. Forgive your parents. They also taught you something good, probably to take good care of yourself, which I was taught from all this. Even though my mom was weak, she taught me how to bake and cook and love the countryside and the nature. What I've been through, and I've had a rough life with sexual abusement, violent childhood traumas, about to die 7 times. I've been in a wheelchair, I was on the gladiators, fell 3 meters to the bare ground, and had many fractures while doing that. I'm still here, I'm pain-free, I feel good. And now I can break one of the biggest patterns of my life, the struggling one. I hope you dare to look at your childhood, otherwise stay tuned. Have a look at my other YouTube videos. I'm going to make more in English and then in the future. Until now they've been Danish, but now I'm ready to share my message in English. Please bear with my English, it's not perfect. I hope you like the video. Please do leave a message. Lots of love and kisses and hugs to you here from the south of France.